Welcome back to Squawk Box. A new poll out this morning that shows a majority of people believe the stock market is rigged against amateur investors in favor of large professional investors. Pollster Frank Luntz did a deep dive last night with a focus group to get a sense of how folks are feeling about hedge funds and Robinhood. Frank joins us right now. Frank, let's start with a soundbite on hedge funds this morning.
What is so bad about hedge funds?
I think very positively about hedge funds, and they help middle America just as much as they do the wealthy.
It's just greed and short-term gain at the expense of people who have put their blood, sweat, and tears into companies that may not fail if it weren't for the hedge funds pinning them into a corner.
I think the ultimate problem is that the term hedge fund is just terribly defined. Like, I don't think any of us here actually really know, what a hedge fund is.
So, Frank, that's what I was really going to say, and your last person polled maybe said it best. How well do you think the American public even understands what a hedge fund is in truth versus the perception of them?
Not well at all, but that's their responsibility. That's their fault. And if I would say one thing in waking up this morning, I noticed that you played Aerosmith's Eat the Rich as the song to lead into this segment. Boy, if that's not a condemnation of hedge funds, I don't know what is. That the fact is that this is an industry that's under attack. This is an industry that isn't trusted. People don't have faith and confidence in it. And one of the challenges that quite frankly, they've got no one explaining what they do. And I don't mean lobbyists. I mean people who are responsible for explaining the process, explaining why they are important to the investment community. Because right now, with Democrats in control of the House and Senate, you could absolutely see some sort of constraints, additional regulation, because that was key in all of this, that the American people want to see some sort of balance between the retail investors and the hedge funds, and they don't see it right now.
Hey, Frank, real quick, before we get to the next shot, and I want to show it in a second, what percentage of the group you polled you think even knows that hedge funds typically manage money for other people, as in pension funds or things of that sort?
Before the group began, very few. That was something that was emphasized by those who support hedge funds. But, Andrew, what I found fascinating is some of the greatest critics come from the Trump side, not just the Biden side. Some of the greatest critics are small C capitalists, believe in economic freedom, and think that hedge funds have actually upset the markets and give people an unfair balance. So don't assume that this is just left-wing pablum, that some people who voted Republican this time, they too believe that there's something unfair about Wall Street.
Okay, I want to get to that in a second, but let me show you another piece of video. Your focus group was showing a pretty strong consensus that there needs to be more regulation. Listen to what they had to say.
I don't think anybody's saying that hedge funds shouldn't exist, but I definitely think that all of these big money entities need to be regulated carefully so that we don't end up with more crashes.
And you don't think that the SEC is doing a good job in regulating them as it stands?
I think it comes down to people want to put more regulations in place to make things fair. Problem is once those regulations are in place, they'll just find another way around it. It seems like every time you put something in place, someone will find a way around it.
And there you go. I think one of the challenges for them, and I'll give you an example because I was looking this morning at some of the websites, both of the hedge funds and the retail firms, people like Robinhood. On their posting on January 29th, there's no essence of priorities and principles. They don't explain what they are about or why they give the advantage to the investor. There's no Q&As or FAQs. And these are things that investors want to look for, that explains to them exactly what they do and what side they're on. And in fact, the language, Andrew, we stand with our customers. People don't believe that anymore. They don't believe that Wall Street is in it for the average person. They believe that it's in it for the big and powerful. And please, for viewers out there, I'm not on that side. I'm delivering this as a warning based on the focus groups, based on the polling. Half of Americans now want more restrictions, or at least more regulations on hedge funds, and 45%, which is close to an all-time high, wanted on Wall Street.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.